This is Ottawa Airport, and we are taking the flight from here to Toronto by Air Canada, and it will take about 1 hour. We were met by Alaa, my student, who works for Air Canada, and he gave us very good seats. We are about to land at the Toronto Pearson International Airport. This main airport serving Toronto, its metropolitan area, and the surrounding region known as the Golden Horseshoe. The airport is named in honor of Lester B. Pearson, who served as the 14th Prime Minister of Canada. This airport is the largest and busiest airport in Canada, handling 44 million passengers in 2023. This is Ajit, Shamni, and Rohan. Shamni was formerly working Malaysia Airlines in Delhi and now is working in Toronto, Canada. This is their house. They live in Vaughan, a suburban city in Toronto. First thing I wanted to do was to meet my childhood friend and my classmate, Professor Choon in Yorkdale Shopping Centre in downtown Toronto. So good meeting Choon in Toronto, and here you are. He's saying hello to you.
Hello everyone. It's great having Naban and Prem here. It's such a long while since we last saw each other. So I hope every one of you are well. Keep safe and stay healthy. Bye.
We have very efficient transport system within Toronto. Go Transit is Ontario's inter-regional bus and train service. It links Go trains and buses depart from Toronto's Union Station at regular intervals throughout the day. We are taking the train from Toronto to Niagara Falls. It's a 2.5-hour train journey from the Union Station to the Niagara Falls. Toronto is Canada's largest city, a global leader in business, technology, entertainment, and culture. With more than half of its population born overseas, Toronto is one of the most multicultural cities in the world. Its location on the northwestern shore of Lake Ontario, which forms part of the border between Canada and United States, and its access to Atlantic shipping via the St. Lawrence Seaway and to major US industrial centers via the Great Lakes, have enabled Toronto to become an important international trading center. The city is positioned on the edge of some of the best farmland in Canada, with the climate favorable to growing a wide range of crops, thereby making Toronto a transportation, distribution, and manufacturing center. Most importantly, its central location, along with a host of political policies favoring international trade, places the city with the greatest economic ties to and influence from the United States. The seats are clean and comfortable. And we enjoy great scenes along the journey. Just arrived at the Niagara Waterfalls, Ontario station, and we need to take a bus to go to the falls. Once we get off from the station, is the free bus to take you to the falls. city is located on the Niagara Peninsula along the western bank of the Niagara River, which forms part of the Canada-United States border, with the other side being the twin city of Niagara Falls, New York. Niagara Falls is within the regional municipality of Niagara and a part of the St. Catharines Niagara Census metropolitan area. We are here at the Niagara Falls. Niagara Falls is a group of 3 waterfalls at the southern end of Niagara Gorge, spanning the border between the province of Ontario in Canada and the state of New York in the United States. The largest of the 3 is Horseshoe Falls, which straddles the international border of the 2 countries. It is also known as the Canadian Falls. The smaller American Falls and Bridal Veil Falls lie within the United States. Bridal Veil Falls is separated from Horseshoe Falls by Goat Island and from the American Falls by Luna Island, with both islands situated in New York. Its skyline is comprised of multiple high-rise hotels and observation towers that overlook the falls and adjacent parkland. Souvenir shops, arcades, museums, amusement rides, indoor water parks, casinos, theaters, and a convention center are located nearby. Horseshoe Falls is the most powerful waterfall in North America, as measured by flow rate. Niagara Falls is famed for its beauty and is a valuable source of hydroelectric power. Balancing recreational, commercial, and industrial uses has been a challenge for the stewards of the falls since the 19th century. Niagara Falls was formed when glaciers receded at the end of the Wisconsin glaciation, the last ice age, and water from the newly formed Great Lakes carved a path over and through the Niagara escarpment en route to the Atlantic Ocean. Horseshoe Falls is about 57 meters high, while the height of the American Falls varies between 21 and 30 meters because of the presence of the giant boulders at its base. The larger Horseshoe Falls is about 790 meters wide, while the American Falls is 320 meters wide. The distance between the American extremity of Niagara Falls and Canadian extremity is 1,039 meters. The peak flow of over Horseshoe Falls was recorded as 6,370 meters per second. falls on your left and the bridal veil falls on your right. The water flowing over Niagara Falls is famous for its beautiful blue-green color. Naturally occurring organisms such as algae work together with sunlight on the surface of the water to contribute to the unusual hue. Pulverized rock, known as rock floor, also adds to the water's tint. Water thundering over Niagara Falls creates a perpetual mist that is almost as famous as the falls themselves. In fact, it's not unusual to see rainbows or solar flares. We are heading back to Toronto Union Station.
Then a biscuit.
You're facing the direction we're traveling. The doors on the left will open first before the doors on the right.
Back home to Vaughan from the Union Station. We explored the city of Toronto. From the Union Station, we walked down to the harbour waterfront. It is a natural bay on the north shore of Lake Ontario. It is a dynamic metropolis with a core of soaring skyscrapers. All were small by the iconic freestanding CN Tower. It is 553 meters high concrete communication observation tower. Completed in 1976, built on the former railway lands, its name CN referred to Canadian National, the railway line that built the tower. This is the harbour. Harbourfront is worth visiting. One can get a relaxing experience while strolling at the Harbourfront Centre. Plenty of eateries and gift shops around. Nice, unique views of the city. Harbourfront draws families for its live entertainment, cultural arts, and craft exhibitions, and its open green spaces and walking paths. The dining options reflect the demographic. The centre also houses World Stage with live dance and theatre performances year-round. There are many hotels nearby. Toronto has many green spaces, from the orderly oval of Queen's Park to 400-acre High Park and its trails, sports facilities, and the zoo. The population in 2024 is 2.8 million and is still growing. We decided to go on the hop-on, hop-off sightseeing bus tour as it gives a roundup of the historic Old Town, the Distillery District, and the colourful Chinatown, the lively entertainment district, and the most iconic areas of Canada's largest city. Toronto has its fair share of must-see attractions. A quarter of the Hollywood movies are filmed in Toronto. It's due to its varied architecture, which makes it a great place to visit as shoot movies. Another fact is that despite being an inland city, Toronto has 46 kilometers of shoreline as it sits in the banks of the Lake Ontario, which is the smallest of the Great Lakes, is half of Greater London. The name Toronto probably comes from the Iroquois word that means the place where trees stand in the water. There might be more buildings than trees now, but there's still a lot of water. St. Lawrence Market is voted the best food market in the world. We can find something delicious to eat here. The most common ancestry groups were English, Chinese, Canadian, Irish, Scottish, East Indian, Italian, Filipino, German, French, Polish. Other common groups include Portuguese, Jamaican, Jewish, Ukrainian, Russian, and Indians. In 2021, 34% of the populations are Asian Canadians. Almost half are in the Greater Toronto area. Given its diverse population, Toronto is a home to many ethnic groups, such as Little India, Greentown, Corso Italia, Chinatown, and Little Jamaica. Yonge Dundas Square is a public square at the southeast corner at the intersection of Yonge Street and Dundas Street. It reminds me of Times Square in New York and also London Piccadilly Circus. Loma is an incredible Gothic mansion in the heart of Toronto. Once home to a famous Canadian financier, it now houses a fantastic museum, which includes a fascinating display of early 20th century cars. We are joining Shamni with her walk with the dog. Nice and cool, 16 degrees. Vaughan is a vibrant city with some of the biggest attractions in the Greater Toronto area. Some of these include Canada's Wonderland, Reptilia Zoo, and Legoland. The region has several modern communities with well-stocked shopping centers and community centers where you can swim, skate, or take a fitness class. It's a perfect location for people commuting into downtown Toronto for work because both train and car rides take around 40 minutes. Before British settlement in modern-day Vaughan, the area was mainly populated by an indigenous group. The land was traded to the British in the early 1800s, after which several agricultural and milling communities arose in the area. One of Vaughan's oldest communities, Thornhill, was formed around a grist mill. The area prospered in the 1900s through agricultural manufacturing business. Today, Vaughan is one of Canada's fastest growing cities. City is divided into nearly a dozen communities based on historic settlements. The center of Vaughan is marked by a large rail yard, Canada's Wonderland, and Highway 400. Much of the city is filled with suburban neighborhoods. However, there are large parks and farmland to the north. Vaughan is neighborhood by Brampton to the east and Richmond Hill to the west. The Velour Woods is a very pretty little wooded trail filled with maples starting at the parking lot of Velour Hall Park and connecting over at Comdale Park. One will pass a couple of parks with playgrounds and some benches for resting along the route. It is an excellent neighborhood trail that is good for walking or jogging. It takes an average of 18 minutes to complete the 1.6 kilometers out and back trail near this place. This trail is great for road biking and walking, and is unlikely you'll encounter many other people while exploring. This is Ajit and Shamni's home in Toronto. It's where we stayed here for 4 days. Ajit is taking us to north of Toronto to see the places. It's mostly farmland, plenty of space.
Just old, like cars from like the 60s. Other side.
With farmlands and tiny villages. It's great to see.
We'll put a tent for you. You're sleeping outside.
premier destination in Ontario for thrills, family fun. This is our flight CX829, which departs at 1:40 on the 19th of May. This flight on the A350-1000 takes about 15 hours 20 minutes from Toronto to Hong Kong. Great scenery of Toronto as we take off. The flight was smooth and comfortable all the way from Toronto to Hong Kong. Raining while landing in Hong Kong. Flight CX723 from Hong Kong to Kuala Lumpur, which will take you about 4 hours. Clean and tidy Hong Kong airport. It was raining while we landed in Kuala Lumpur International Airport. Home sweet home after 30 days.